In other news, Nintendo stepping up its security. There's a cute little dog down in the corner. Nintendo! Security, get in here. There's a cute dog. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News. This show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, I want to talk to you about this article I read over on PC Gamer. It stuck with me, and I had to talk to you about it. The days of those crappy Microsoft desk microphones are over. You remember those ones, the weird, slightly dirty white ones that had that long neck that would sit on your desk? I mean, look, I'm old, but y'all have to remember those. They sucked. But also, not many people actually use them. Fast forward to today, and almost everyone has some form of microphone for their PC or gaming setup. As the article on PC Gamer says, today, if you scroll through the vainglorious posts of r/battle stations, you will notice the new omnipresent trend, massive studio-ready microphones. It has, as the article says, become something that completes your setup. A great audio setup will definitely strike jealousy in someone, says Andrew, a 15-year-old Floridian, who showed off his rig in a choice r/battle stations. It's the same when I see someone with a nice keyboard or whatever. Everything you have will make someone jealous. And jealousy is the key here. As more and more people become famous as gamers, they see the ever-expanding, ever-expensive gear they use, the brands, the RGB lights, the backgrounds, and they want that. And to be honest, that level of celebrity seems a little bit more attainable than, say, Tom Cruise. I think that all the kids just want a complete streaming setup like they see their favorite streamers online have. So whether or not they use it for streaming or just casually, it's become part of a complete setup, says another poster. And that's the wild thing that I think is kind of interesting. Most people don't stream, but I think a lot of people feel like they could if they wanted to. As the article says, everyone imagines themselves as a YouTuber. And like I said, it seems easy enough, because in theory, it's just playing games. The article goes on to say that in 2022, gamers are weaned on the texturous depth of Twitch streamers and YouTube hustlers. If you join the party with a microphone that makes you sound like Leroy Jenkins, expect to be laughed out of the room. And everyone who's anyone knows that you need a Rode mic arm, not some $15 imitator off Amazon. And as a guy who has both, I cannot stress this enough to you. Ignore that shit. Ignore it. Don't listen to it. You sound fine in your headset mic. The quality of headset mics have increased so much, and the only difference between that and this microphone that I paid $400 some for is I paid $400 for this microphone and the boom arm and the cords, and then I paid another $800 for the interface. And so basically I'm spending a ton of money to slyly convince some brand or whatever that, hey, I'm a professional and you can trust me to promote your product well. That's really what it's about. Truly, it's fine. And I think all of it is just one of those, like, you see it, you want it, it's, oh, a cool kid has a cool watch, or someone has a nice house, or someone has a nice car. It's the same thing, but you don't need it, y'all. Really, you don't. Just like with cameras. People are buying $1,000 cameras to stream, and that's fine. If that is your business and you are at the point where you can afford to just toss money like that, great. Right now, I'm using a webcam. This is a webcam right here. That's what it is. Would I like to have a badass camera? Sure. Can I get a badass camera? You're damn right I can. But like, do I need it? Not really. Until I got this microphone right here, I was using a C01U, I think it's called. I think it was like $100. It was a USB microphone. It was great at the time. That was 10 years ago, and I'll be real with y'all. Microphones are better now. They're better than that. You can get whatever kind of microphone you want, and it will be just as good, if not better. And honestly, I've traveled with worse microphones, and no one's complained, because at the end of the day, if someone's giving you shit online about your microphone, that's just an asshole, is what that is. There is no reason whatsoever for you to have expensive equipment, truthfully. I have been on many sets for many stream shows, and every time I look around and I'm like, I could do this with 3 webcams. It's a status symbol. Being able to show off to your friends, being able to say, I have this, I can flex a little bit. That's all it is. And if that's your vibe, if that's what you want to do, live your life. But is it necessary? No. And should you worry if you don't have the newest best thing? Hell no. In other news, Nintendo stepping up its security to stop leakers. All the way back in 2020, you know, what feels like 500 years ago, Nintendo was victim of what the internet called the Giga Leak, where a ton of stolen data was leaked onto the internet. We're talking prototypes of classic games like Yoshi's Island, Mario Kart, and even Ocarina of Time. The leak even featured internal documents about consoles, both past and future, as well as some things that haven't even come out yet, and their development cycles. One of these being the Chinese-only IQ. And, we'll get into why that's important in a sec. So like most things in Nintendo, they have never once talked about it. It hasn't been brought up or publicly acknowledged at all until yesterday. During the annual shareholders meeting in Japan, they were asked during the meeting if they believe IQ may have been the source of the information leaks, since it was the only non-Nintendo specific console to have info released and was very specific to China. Responding to the question, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa said, "The PC and mobile games market in China is large, but dedicated games consoles are not so large. Together with Tencent, we want to continue to popularize them. We are working with experts on information leaks. We have also introduced information security management." And while that really isn't an answer at all and doesn't really address it, at least they did mention the word leak, so I guess they acknowledge it happened. At the end of the day, Nintendo is very strict and has always been with their copyright stuff. From the games to the consoles to the music online. But I think the insight that gaming fans and gaming historians got from this leak is kind of invaluable. It doesn't make the leak right, but it does give them a lot of background information and all of the insider goody tidbits, which I think goes a long way towards the preservation efforts of those games and the consoles that we love. I don't know, what do you think? I am really curious what your thoughts about this are, because to me, it's I understand leaks are bad, but also it's 30-year-old console information. So was it really that bad? Or I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Is the copyright stuff, I get why they have to defend their copyright. If they don't do it, then what's the point of having it? You know what I mean? It makes it easier over time for more and more people to abuse it. So they have to be hard about it. But we're talking about the Super Nintendo, right? Is that worth the fight? Should we just have access to that information anyway? For, again, the preservation of gaming, the historical parts of it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of gaming history, oh boy, here we go. We're making some over at patreon.com/Jesse Cox, where you can hang out with Eric Sears, Mike Griffin, and the Susan Cox. That's right, she's been on here twice. It's my mom. I can do whatever I want. Anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.